Hello fellow YouTubers, this is FXManAZ and I am going to do an unboxing today and flight of the Hubsan X4 quadcopter. I actually got this thing in the mail not too long ago, and it came in a plastic bag, of course. So I cut open the bag, brought out the box, and it seemed like there was a little bit of damage done to the box. Didn't seem too bad. The box had a big dent in one side and kind of creased on the other. Didn't seem like, the insides would probably be messed up or anything. So I decided to go ahead and just open it up and see if there was any damage to it. Upon inspecting the box and contents and everything, it didn't seem like there was any damage. The plastic seemed like it was in good shape and everything. So I decided to go ahead and just open it up and take a look at everything. Let's see here. We have the controller, quadcopter, battery, charger, and the extra blades. I have flown RC airplanes and helicopters, and I have driven several cars and trucks. This is my second quad copter that I bought, and this one has a camera on it. It seems like the body on it's really great design, really stiff. Seems like it can take a little bit of an impact if it needs to. The battery gives you about 6-minute flight time, I'd say. It's better to keep an eye on everything, and when it's getting low, to make sure you get down. It does come with a charger. I kind of think it's a cheesy little charger, but what can you say? It comes with extra blades, which is a good thing, and it comes with a nice little PlayStation style remote control. The gimbals on it seem to be very, very smooth and very fluid, so I was pretty happy with the way that it felt in my hands. It does take 4 AAA batteries to run the controller, and other than that, it just seems like a good little setup. It is a 2.4 gigahertz radio. Now the quadcopter itself does need an SD card, so I had to find one amongst all my other little micro cameras I had, and made sure that it fit in there. Fits in there just good, and didn't seem to have any problems sliding it in. The battery fits in there pretty snug. It's not too hard to get in and out. It does feel pretty good once you get it all the way in there. It doesn't want to jostle around or move or anything. Now the quadcopter does have little LEDs on the front and rear of it that light up, and I'll show you a picture of that with them lit up here real quick. The blue is of course the front, and the red is the back, and the 2 little eyes, which are great little indicators for when your battery's getting low, they'll start blinking on you. Just spinning around the props here, just seeing if everything's free and not no binding. It does have a nice little camera on the front of it. I was pretty impressed with the video that came out of it, which you'll see in a little bit here. It does have rubber feet underneath the legs there for hard landings if you do have one. Other than that, it kind of keeps it stable on the ground. The 2 LED lights in the front there will start blinking once the battery starts going down, so you'll kind of want to keep an eye on that as well. Now the instruction sheet there came with a important notice, which is to tell you the calibration of the accelerometer, which you really need to read. The transmitter stick calibration underneath there tells you how to calibrate all that stuff, and it also tells you about the camera recording function. The instruction manual is probably one of the better ones that I've seen. The introduction and safety notes are really good. It does have a safety advisory notice about the LiPo batteries on charging them and everything. and safety check before flying. It tells you all about the transmitter, the key function and the modes and all that, which you really need to read through when you're just getting into quadcopters. It's really good information. The next page is about the LiPo battery charging and how to put the batteries in the controller, and the start to fly, the powering on procedure and all that. Then it kind of gets into about the LED lights, the transmitter and the control, how it all kind of responds to the transmitter. Page 10 is advanced performance setup. Really good information here. Tells you how to do some of the tricks, the tips, and really getting some good flights and backward flip, forward flip, sides. Replacing the propellers isn't bad, but I found out there is a little tool that you can actually get to pop those off. And they do have a kind of like a little protection plastic thing that you can get for it too. It's got a great exploded view of the quadcopter itself, and kind of tells you what where the blades go and everything, and talks about the LEDs and all that good stuff. Now, the SD card, really, you need to look at how you install the SD card. The little brass pieces need to go up, okay, and that slides right in there with no problem, and then you just push in and it'll click and stay in there. Now, on the side of the helicopter, there is a little button that you want to push that'll start your recording, start and stop your recording. You'll only want to start and stop the recording once the battery is still hooked up. You don't want to unplug it and then take it out, because it'll erase everything. Now, here's for comparison. I have a Estes Dart quadcopter compared with the Hubsan X4, and the Hubsan's a little bit beefier because of the camera, but generally kind of the same quadcopter. They both have just about the same looks, same setup underneath almost. The Estes doesn't have the rubber feet at all, or a camera, so the Hubsan does kind of outrank that a little bit there. So about the same size, though. I was pretty impressed with it. Now, here's the first test flight. I charged up the battery and wanted to kind of bring it in, start it out inside and just see how it flew. There was a little bit of trimming to do on it once I got it up in the air, but it seemed really stable as far as the flight. Very, very stable compared to the Estes Dart. It seemed the Hubsan actually seemed like it had a little bit more stability to it than the Estes does. But as you can see, I'm kind of flying around the room there with the video camera going. Seems like the video takes really good, video for what it is, for as tiny as it is. I was pretty impressed with how the whole thing flew. Being a beginner, this is something that you really just want to try getting into. Well, I would suggest the Hubsan X4. It's an actually good little quadcopter to get into, especially with the flight video. I love seeing how the flight video. The only problem is with the video card, they don't give you a way to actually put that into the computer with the Hubsan. But I just happen to have an extra little micro camera that I can plug into my computer, so I put the SD card in that and downloaded it that way. Seems like it's flying really good right here. I'm pretty impressed with it. Very stable. Very stable. No wind, of course, inside. So it's pretty much hovered right where you wanted it. The handheld was very comfortable in the hand, and the helicopter is very responsive when you want to make separate moves, as far as mode 1 and mode 2. I had it in mode 2 for a little while, playing around with it, and mode 1 playing around with it, and it seemed like a little bit more responsive, but all in all, pretty impressive little quadcopter. One great little indicator is when all the lights start blinking, that you want to bring it in for a landing. So I decided to try it on my hand. Landed right in my palm, no problem. Okay, so here we are outside. It was a little bit windy. You can see the lines in the camera there. That is actually from the sun going through the blades. I was kind of surprised at first. I was like, oh, this is crap. And then I was like, oh, it's the blades. But it actually flew pretty good. It was a little windy outside, but no big deal. Like I said, I was just getting into them, and I'm just learning to fly them, and it seems like it's a great flying little quad so far. I'll let you enjoy some video here before I talk about a little situation that came up. Alright, so I'm kind of tooling around in the backyard, having fun. The wind's starting to pick up just a little bit. Not much. I mean, it was a good little breeze, but I didn't think it was that bad. I decided to go up a little higher with it. I'm flying around, cruising around up there, and this gust just comes out from nowhere. Blows me way off course. I'm kind of right where I don't want to be. So I'm desperately trying to get the quadcopter back. The wind just keeps pushing it out further and further, and just about then a big old gust came up, and yeah, it took a 75-foot drop. Okay, so after fixing the props on it, which I had ordered extras anyways, but it broke 2 props and popped the arms off pretty good. I popped everything back on, put new props on it, took it out for another test flight. Started getting more windy, so I didn't want to push my luck any more than what I did. So I figured I'd just keep it in the backyard there and tool around a little bit. Seemed like nothing even happened, and it took a good 75-foot drop. I was pretty impressed on, from a drop that big, that it didn't do more damage than what it did, so. All in all, I definitely recommend this quadcopter as a first one for anybody, so go out and get you one.